What's going on, everybody? C4, welcome back to the channel, and today we're here for episode 11 of our Madden Retro Mod, where we are beginning the 2001 season with our Jacksonville Jaguars squad. This is year 6 since we took over the Jacksonville Jaguars as an expansion team, and we've yet to make the playoffs. And I would like to think, looking at our offense and taking a peek at our defense, that we have more than enough talent on all levels of the football field to finally make the playoffs here in year number 6. Big changes entering year number 6. On the offensive line standpoint, we have added Tony Baselli, who's an all-time great. I believe the first Jag to ever make the Hall of Fame. Unfortunately, we weren't able to draft him. That was like way back actually when we started this. For the Jags, he went top 5, and we were picking outside the top 5. But we're able to make it all work out in the end, and we have a brand new left tackle, which makes our offensive line better at 2 spots, because then we were able to kick John Runyon out to his more natural right tackle position, and I don't think there's too many better offensive lines in the NFL. Pete Mitchell has been a really underrated tight end. He was honestly our best pass catcher last year, which is not great. Probably why we didn't make the playoffs, because Keenan McCardell is like a role player. We have Desmond Howard, who's, you know, a gadget role player, but like we didn't really have a true weapon. And as much as I like Mike Allstott, and Mike Allstott last year developed his game as a pass catcher. Everyone knows A-Train as a true-on power back. And he's on a streak of 3 straight years of 1,000 yards rushing. But look at last year, man. Upped his receptions. It's trending in the right direction for him, becoming an all-around complete running back. But we needed more. So what we did during the draft was target the best wide receiver available. And that was OCHO CINCO himself, Chad Johnson, who is going to come in and be our wide receiver 1. Elite agility, elite, really good athlete. 90 speed, 94 acceleration with our boost. He's up to a 95 catching, 90 spec catch. And I think he has all the tools in his wheelhouse to become our franchise wide receiver 1. Remember one of the things that he did with the Cincinnati Bengals back in the day at his peak? Still some of the best footwork that the NFL has ever seen at the wide receiver position. I think him and Tom Brady are going to become an lethal connection. And even then, I'll show you right after this. Actually, I imported the draft. It's a really nice draft class coming up in 2002, where I think, we're going to be able to get someone pretty good, maybe even at one of these wide receiver spots to pair with Chad Johnson. Looking at the defense, the defensive line, pretty good. Carlos Emmons has developed into a really nice player for us. Joey Porter's entering his 3rd year, where, he's been solid. He hasn't have left up to maybe the big hype that we kind of had, because originally we were going to draft Joey Porter in the 1st round. He was a projected 1st-round pick. We decided to trade out of the 1st round, so we had multiple 1st-round picks in the 2000 draft to get Tom Brady. So that's what we did, and then still sitting there in the 2nd round was Joey Porter, who we wanted in the 1st round. Everything worked out, but I do think we need to get a little bit more out of him, a little bit more of a pass rush. Rest of the linebacker core really solid. We have the IQ and the future head coach ability of Mike Vrabel, Jeremiah Trotter, the Axeman, and Ulrich has been solid. Safety room of Mike Brown and Weapon X, Brian Dawkins, very good. I think our secondary, the rest of it, the corners, not the best. Al Harris, we got Jason Sehorn, definitely have been on the wrong end of like bad free agency and draft roles. Hasn't been a lot of immediate talent in our drafting range in the draft at the corner position. So maybe this year will be a year that we try to target it. But ultimately, there's no weaknesses on our squad. I definitely think here in 2001, year 6 with the Jags, we are going to finally make the playoffs. That's my expectations. I'm not saying we need Super Bowl. I'm not saying we need AFC Championship. I would love at least one playoff win. But if we can at least just break that seal and get in the playoffs, that is going to be a dub. Now, if you missed the last episode, I'm basically saying I'm going through some things with my PC. The new Madden is coming out next gen, so I had to upgrade my PC, which is awesome. I'll tell you right now, if you know anything about YouTube and anything like that, rendering is what it's called when you put all your clips together and make a video that it can get uploaded to YouTube. Usually, and I had a really decent to good computer back in 2017, which is what I was using, 30-minute video would take 45 minutes to render so I could upload to YouTube. And with my new PC, it literally takes 2 minutes. I can't believe I've been working as a YouTuber with like the Stone Age type hardware and equipment. So that's awesome. The bad news is I have to wait for a cooling system for my computer. So anytime I use PC mods, which is what I'm using right now, my PC gets like dangerously hot. So I can't really hop on the sticks and get gameplay. Last episode I said this. I still had to hop in and get a screen grab of Tom Brady. My game crashed because my computer's like, nope, too hot. So today is Sunday. You're probably gonna get this video on Monday. My computer shop said that they'll have it either Tuesday or Wednesday. So I'm saying, just in relation to this, because I want to hop on the sticks. I want to see Tom Brady, All-Star, Chad Johnson. I'm gonna say there's probably gonna be today's episode and at the most 2 more episodes after this that I'm not going to be able to hop on the sticks. Just because I want to keep this series going. I didn't want to pause it while I wait for my computer parts to get in. And it's just, you know, it is what it is. We got to deal with the situation, the circumstances that we're dealing with. As soon as I get the cooling in, my PC's not running at 100 friggin' degrees, we will be able to hop on the sticks with our Jag squad. But here for 2001, we're going to sit back, let the sim do its thing, and hopefully make the playoffs. Let's go. So we're going to pull the brakes just a little bit. Great start to the season, 2-0, which is not foreign to our Jags team. We've usually started pretty well. It's when we go absolute brick ice igloo in the Northwest Territories of Canada cold for the final stretch of the season that has been killing us. But winning week 2, 35-33 over the Colts, who have easily been our stiffest competition in the division. A little bit of a statement game. But here at week 2, it's our first chance to look at the upcoming 2002 draft class with some awesome names. We have David Carr, still projected to be the first pick. I don't know if that will hold up, but we will see. And David Garrard is the other top quarterback from this draft class. We had Clinton Portis, who was awesome back in the day. We have Julius Peppers, who's one of my favorite players of all time, real life and in Madden. If I'm making an all Madden team, since I've been playing Madden like 03 to now, and I can make a team out of all the players that I've had fun with in Madden. Him, Julius Peppers on one side with Sean Merriman at the other side. Those are my 2 starting defensive ends. Automatically, I would love Julius Peppers on our Jags team. It's going to be very unlikely that we're picking within the top 5. Same goes Ed Reed, absolute icon, one of the best safeties in the history of the game. He's projected to go top 5. We got Quentin Jammer. We got Brian McKinney. Fun fact about Brian McKinney. Go look at Heisman voting for Brian McKinney. He's like the only tackle that I've ever seen get Heisman votes. And he got like a lot. Like he was almost top 5, I feel like, unless I'm misremembering. Just the most absurd thing I've ever seen. So full shout out to Brian McKinney. Go check that out if you've never heard about that. Just bizarre. Albert Hainsworth, who at his peak was one of the most dominant defensive tackles I've ever seen in my life. He was like my comp for Jordan Davis coming out of Georgia for the Philadelphia Eagles. Albert Hainsworth, when he wanted to, that was the thing. It was always on him. When he decided like he didn't want to try, it was like an attitude issue. But when he brought it on, he was unstoppable. He was 6'6", 335, and like also one of the most athletic defensive tackles in the league at that time. So he's an absolute baller. We have John Henderson. So speaking of Jags greats, he's one of the first names you say C4, think of your all-time Jags. And obviously I'm not a big Jags fan, but John Henderson is near top of that list, if not at the tippity top. He's a monster. That'd be cool to repeat history if we can get him. But again, probably going to be out of our price range. We got Dwight Freeney. He's one of the best edge rushers. Iconic spin move coming off the edge. And, you know, one of the all-timers for sure, especially of this era. We got Stallworth, Javon Walker. Roy Williams was a big-time hitting strong safety, formerly of the Cowboys. Sheldon Brown. Eagle fans know who Sheldon Brown is. If you're not an Eagles fan, you've probably seen his hit on Reggie Bush, one of the most iconic hits of all time, and needing corners in this class. And I've had a soft spot for Eagles. The fact that Sheldon Brown and down here, Lito, he's not even in the first round right now. Lito Shepherd, who are like really like the last 2 great 1-2 punch at corner that Philly had before last year when we had James Bradbury and Slay. I'd love to get one of those guys. Those are going to be guys that we're definitely targeting. You got Jeremy Shockey, who's an awesome tight end out of the U. And for the New York Giants, Deion Branch, Super Bowl MVP. Brian Westbrook, one of the best receiving backs. Him and Marshall Faulk were, well, Marshall Faulk clearly was still the best. But him and Marshall Faulk were like ahead of the times back in the 2000s for what a modern running back is going to look like. And really lastly, kind of close out the first round, the monster, Debo, James Harrison. So a lot of intriguing names here down late. But we'll see, man. I'm telling you right now, just looking at the board, we're definitely going to be trying to prioritize corner. Week 3 win, and we get a player of the week. It is Jeremiah Trotter, the Axeman. Maybe not as good as F Agent for the Green Bay Packers, but Jeremiah Trotter, 13 tackles, 2 interceptions. Let's go. We were on an outstanding 5-0 start. Fortunately, ran into an equally talented Detroit Lions team. We're able to knock us off 30-27. Now it is time here to kick it off here. Let's go live. Minnesota, get another win streak and continue to keep ground at least a game or 2 ahead of the Colts. We don't want the Colts finding their momentum and catching up when we usually and have fortunately inevitably choked the second half of the season. If we can build up a big enough lead in the first half, maybe we can take a couple bad losses a little bit late and drop in 42 on the Vikings. That's how you rebound from a loss. Actually, let's go right here again. Let's run it back again, because this is another big one. Actually, let's make sure we get our scouting focus in. I really do want to focus in on the corners this year. Sheldon Brown, Lito Shepard, top 2 corners. Quentin Jammer's there as well. He was really good. Who did he play for? Quentin Jammer. Chargers? It's so long. It's been so freaking long. Let's see. The most recent mock draft here. Might as well just keep talking a little bit. We have Brian Westbrook. You know what? Honestly, for who we have, if we were ever going to go running back, right now, I really would like Sheldon Brown and or Lito Shepard, who's still not even projected to go in the first round. But if you have a Mike Allstott type, Brian Westbrook's like the perfect complementary option to a Mike Allstott type running back. But yeah, we locked in corners as our focus for the draft. And let's see what happens. Big time matchup atop the AFC South. Colts, Jags. Who wins? We complete the sweep 2-0 with a weekly award going to Warren Sapp. 3 sacks. Let's go. Well, we're here. It's midway point. Let's look at some contracts. We have yet to really run into any salary cap issues, which has definitely helped us out down this stretch. Looking at who we have in terms of re-signing. Well, first up, we'll go Allen Aldridge. That's a really reasonable deal if you will take that. 2 years, 14 mil. He is getting up there in age. The regression is inevitable, but that's how we have Ben Coleman, who's still a member, surviving member of our original expansion squad. We'll see if we can get him a 2-year deal to at least 32, which we do, keeping him at right guard. Then we got Olin Kreutz, who's been an outstanding center. This is where you start to back up the Brinks truck a little. Give him a 5-year deal. He's probably the highest rated center in the NFL right now. I'll direct that back. He's top 5, but it's only a matter of time until he's the highest rated center in the NFL. And sitting at our bye week, we are 10-1. We have the number 1 offense, number 2 passing offense, almost a top 10 rushing offense. We have a top 5 overall defense with almost a top 5 rushing defense. Need to get the passing down a little bit, but again, we've talked about it and highlighted, and especially as relation to the upcoming draft. Corner, getting better in the secondary is a top priority for us. Buffalo tend to be one of the tougher teams in the sim, especially in the AFC. We win a close one, 28-27 in week 13, coming off the bye with a big-time performance from the A-Train. Mike Allstott, 96 yards rushing, 3 rushing touchdowns to go along with 4 catches, 44 yards, and a 4th total touchdown on the day. What a monster the A-Train is. We were on a absolute tear, sitting at 15-1, and I'm not going to complain too much. It's the Chiefs, but of course, our team would find a way to stumble at some point in the second half of the season, which we did, 29-22, but playoffs. It took us 6 long years since the Jags became an expansion team and a brand new team in the AFC. We are finally in playoffs, and what better year than to go 15-2 and say you are firmly head and shoulders the top team in the NFL. Looking at it right now, Saints got a lot of momentum. They're on a 7-game win streak, but 15-2 cannot be denied that we are firmly the best team in the NFL to go along with the number 1 offense, the number 2 defense in the NFL. We'll just, let's see here. We got Tom Brady. We'll spend some of these upgrades here. Tom Brady now up to a 97 overall with all the boosts. He's looking unstoppable, playing like an MVP. Might be the MVP this year. Mike Allstott, I've been spending more points in elusive back. It's not really helping his rating out too much, but in terms of like once we get in and play with him, it's giving him some more agility. And usually when you go elusive back, that I've had some chances there at getting speed and acceleration, which is what he needs. And really the big question, Chad Johnson, OCHO CINCO. I don't really know what archetype. I guess we'll just feed into the scheme fit, make him a slot. But he did pop as a superstar dev. I think that's fair. I don't think I was even really expecting an X factor for Chad Johnson. I think superstar's pretty damn good, all things considered. Looking at our stats, Tom Brady, first in yards, not first in touchdowns. Him and Drew Brees, that's a throwback. Damon Ward, didn't he play like the CFL? Anyway, Tom Brady, first in yards, top 10 in touchdowns. Really, really good year. 70% completion percentage. Might be the MVP. Mike Allstott, A-Train, 1,200 yards, 18 touchdowns. He brought in Deuce Staley just to, once one monster comes out, you get another in. He got 10 touchdowns. Teams just regret it trying to stop the run here of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Keenan McCardell led the team, still showing. The old man got it. 95 catches, 1,300 yards and 5 tutties, 1,100 yards, 9 touchdowns on 94 catches for the rookie Chad Johnson. Desmond Howard, close to 1,000. Pete Mitchell was solid. Mike Allstott was solid. Good numbers across the board there. Defensively, Jeremiah Trotter and Al Aldridge both go over 100 total tackles on the year. Warren Sapp is the best defensive player, I think, in this sim right now. 70 tackles, 21 TFLs, 18 sacks. We got 17 now from Joey Porter. When we were previewing the team at the beginning of this video, I said he's been kind of whelming. He was good and due for a breakout. That pretty much kind of eliminates us going after James Harrison, I think, in the draft, if he's still there. The bottom, 5 picks or so. Carlos Emmons with a really strong year. 11 sacks, Kelly Gray. I mean, just outstanding. Outstanding from the unit. And I mean, again, the secondary, not the best. Not really getting the interception we'd love to see from a Brian Dawkins or Mike Brown. But we're getting the job done, man, on every other level, which is great. MVP goes to Fred Taylor. Wow. Tom Brady, 8. 5,000 yards in 2001. You get 8th? I don't think that's too fair, but hey, we're doing a Jags franchise, so shout out to Fred Taylor doing the damn thing. AFC Offensive Player goes to Fred Taylor. Defensive Player of the Year goes to Junior Seau. Warren Sapp, runner-up at number 2. He probably should have won the award. Offensive Rookie of the Year goes to Drew Brees, with Chad Johnson coming in at number 2. Defensive Rookie of the Year goes to Adrian Wilson, with the Reynald. We didn't really have any expectations of winning that award. I don't think Tom Brady is the 5th best quarterback in the conference. I'll say that right now. Fred Taylor, best running back. The best wide receiver goes to someone known as Jermaine Lewis. I don't know who that is, but good for you. A lot of Chiefs, Jags, Warren Sapp, best D lineman. Love seeing that. A lot of Chiefs, though. And they beat us to close. I mean, it's like one of those things. Is that the writing on the wall? What are the odds? We meet the Chiefs like in the first round. We can't even get our first playoff win. Get the 1 seed. We pull a Dallas Cowboys, and we lose. Oh, almost equally as annoying. The Colts. All right, that didn't work. I tried to hop in and super sim, like play the moments, get that front row seat, crashed. So we're just going to have to straight up sim it. It is the number 1 offense, number 2 defense going up against the number 9 offense, number 20 defense. I think we all know how this is probably going to fold out, but we did beat the Colts twice. Can we complete the hat trick? Which we do, and of course we have to run into the Chiefs. But we absolutely kicked the shit out of the Colts, and really my goal this year was at least 1 playoff win, which is exactly what we got. Tom Brady, lights out. This is a chance to avenge one of our 2 losses here. We lost to the Chiefs and the Lions, but the Chiefs was the most recent, and they're the Chiefs, right? They kind of know what you get when you go up against the Chiefs. It's going to be a tough one. We're both 87 overalls. It's going to be, the best team's going to win. I like Tom Brady in this matchup, and wasn't the closest. 45-22. We let Drew Brees. I mean, of course, right? OP, cheesy team, and they get Drew fucking Brees as their quarterback. So it's just, all right, get rid of Mahomes, put in another Hall of Fame type quarterback in the sim. Carlos Emmons does get Defensive Player of the Week. 2 forced fumbles in this matchup. And wow, the Super Bowl is actually the battle of the 2 teams that have beat us this year. So, I mean, again, can't complain too much about that, I guess. And the Super Bowl goes to the Detroit Lions. Hey, at this point, honestly, sit back. I'd rather it go to a team that's yet to win the Super Bowl than the team that's the super cheesy team. So congratulations to the Detroit Lions. Looking at our squad as we cleared our lockers for dev traits. Well, I'm expecting something here. And we didn't really get anything. I thought Mike Allstott would have a shot at going up to Superstar. Guess not. I mean, there's a chance at his age he got it and they took it away. No, they didn't even give it to him. Okay. Well, keep disrespecting the A train. Chad Johnson stays as a Superstar. McCartnell could have went up dev trade as well. He had a really nice season, but he's also 32 years old, and look at the regression. Holy shit. We need wide receiver help. Wide receiver corner. That's where we're going to be going for the draft. Defensively, well, turns dev traits. No one up or down. How did Joey Porter not get a dev trait? He had 17 sacks. I think we got robbed there. I'm going to be honest. I think Joey Porter should be a Superstar. All said and done. At least there was no bad regressions, bad dev traits lost, but I think Joey Porter should be a Superstar right now. We'll say it's going to be end of an era right before we get into free agency. I tried to just throw a little bit of a reasonable offer to Keaton McCardell, and he decided he wants to finish his career elsewhere. So thank you very much for 6 great years. So for free agency, going to be a little more aggressive now. We're getting guys that I've heard of, guys that are part of the draft classes that we have already completed. I'm going to look at Samari Roll at corner, 25 years old, 81 with a star dev. He would instantly be able to come in and be our corner 1, and that really still wouldn't change too much as relates to the draft. We're going to be targeting a corner, most likely Or wide receiver, we have Donald Driver, who didn't really hit Donald Driver levels, because obviously he's an all-time great for the Green Bay Packers, but does bring a little bit of name value and would be a really nice wide receiver too, especially if we can't land one during the draft. And an excellent start to the offseason, getting both our top targets to sign on the dotted line. Here's a look at the final mock draft, which gives us a pretty good idea of who is going to be going where. And the Giants look to be locking in a quarterback there. David Carr, Portis to the Texans, Julius Peppers to the Seahawks. Obviously, things could potentially change. Albert Hainsworth to the Vikings, Dwight Freeney to the Raiders, John Henderson to the Oilers, going within the division. That's a little annoying. Bucks get Jeremy Shockey. Ed Reed to the Bengals. If he falls to 17, I might have to trade up. I don't even need. Imagine Ed Reed and Brian Dawkins. That's almost just too much value to pass up. James Harrison going to the Dolphins at 21. Sheldon Brown going to the Niners at 22. Brian Westbrook to the Colts at 25. So they're actually going to try to pair Brian Westbrook and Marshall Faulk in the same backfield. Annoying. Lito Shepard is going before our pick to the Ravens. Right now we're getting Ashley the Lee. That is gross. I don't want that. I don't want that pick. So yeah, I'm not going to trade up for Ed Reed, but I am going to try and trade up for the last remaining corner that we have graded as a starting first round corner. So we're going to move up 6 spots, and I'm going to send in Chris Naoli, who is 6 points higher than the current starting left guard on the New Orleans Saints, to be able to get that piece of business done. So now, instead of picking at 30, we are picking at pick 24, where we are going to be selecting the corner out of Florida, Lito Shepard. And I'm glad we did. I think that's probably the last pick that I've kind of heard of. The best player is probably Larry Foote, but I don't need linebacker at all. We are good at the linebacker spot. We have our veterans and our young guys in place. If we're going BPA, we'd probably just say screw it and grab him. Alex Brown was solid out of Florida. Don't know if we need a D end. Really, we need a wide receiver, and we got Rashae Caldwell and Andre Davis. I mean, I remember Caldwell playing for the game, I guess, but honestly, very, very slim pickings after the first round here in 2001. So take a look at our draft recap. Lito Shepard in the first round, not even really that cheesy. 72 hidden dev. He's going to come in and be a starter for us, probably our corner 3. Rashae Caldwell, 66. I got Najee Davenport in the third round. He's 72. That's a good third running back to add. We have Marquand Manuel, who was the Eagles corner coach last year. Got him as depth safety. I got Will Dempsey, because I remember him. I got Matt Mitrione, because he was in the UFC. That's the only reason why I picked the 7th round, but not a strong draft class. It's kind of what happens, man, when I go update these draft classes and put all the top players of the first round, so it really does. I'd rather that still. I'd rather, not have, I had to pass on James Harrison rounds 3 to 7 because he was a UDFA player. He's gone because the top players rise to the top there. I think this is the best way to do it, and we just got to be happy when we can get a hit, and Lito Shepard should be really solid for us. It was really, really good for the Philadelphia Eagles back in the day. So this will do it for today as we now get ready to begin the 2002 season in the NFL. Coming off a 15-2 year with some playoff success, crashing and burning against the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. We're ready. We're better. We're gonna learn from it. We come in. We got Donald Driver on the offense. So that should help, right? Another good, reliable weapon for Tom Brady. Another year of Chad Johnson developing a monster. Another year, Mike Allstott in his prime, probably his last year of his prime. The O-line is the best in the NFL, and we obviously have the GOAT under center, trying to become the GOAT, trying to get that first Super Bowl. Because I think once we get that, this team's going to snowball into a bunch of Super Bowls. We've gone out and improved the secondary. Samari Rolle and Lito Shepard come into a corner room that needs to get a lot better, and I think we are going to be. Rolle is legitimate outside corner 1 potential. Lito Shepard, same type of mentality, and obviously the familiar faces. Joey Porter should be a superstar right now. Almost 20 sacks last year. Absolutely robbed of that dev trait. So he is hopefully going to have a little bit of a revenge tour this year and to silence all of the haters. But that'll do it for this episode. Hope you guys did enjoy. As always, your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Smash that like button if you enjoyed. And until next time, it's your boy C4 saying peace out. Love you. Have a good one, and see you on the next one.